Tonight's episode of Real Nightmares comes from a true master of horror, George A. Romero, the godfather of the modern zombie movie. But this isn't a zombie movie this time. Tonight, we're talking about the 2000 film written and directed by George Romero called Bruiser. Bruiser revolves around a man named Henry Creedlow, who is very forgettable, gets walked on, cheated on, and lied to. Henry's friend gives him a mask to paint that's supposed to represent who he thinks he is. He leaves the mask blank, expressionless, and the next morning he wakes up and that mask has fused to his face. Now I've brought another special guest to help me talk about this movie tonight, a very dear friend. And here he is, everybody, Jake Daniels, the madman behind Mediaverse, here to talk with me tonight about Bruiser. Now I don't know how familiar you are with George A. Romero.
I'm pretty familiar.
Pretty familiar with him. Now, there's a lot of people that said this Bruiser movie was the best film of the second half of his career.
Ooh, it was good. I would say it was good. I don't know if it's the best, but man, it flopped hard. Well, it flopped way too hard, but it was good.
I don't know if it was lack of advertising, lack of theater time, but the movie almost fell into like non-existence.
Yeah, I had never heard of it.
And it was, I had a list, because I'm a big George Romero fan. I have his
Show it.
Tattooed.
Come on.
No, but I got the tattoo on my arm with his glasses and his Stay Scared signature, and I've always respected him. I had this list of all his movies, and I was going to watch all of them, and Bruiser was by far the hardest one to find until somebody put it on Tubi.
Yep. I can't believe it was on Tubi.
Bruiser is about a man that is just an easily forgettable character. He's walked on, he's stepped on, cheated on, lied to, and people do it just because they think they can do it. And then she asked him to paint the mask of himself. She goes, I want people to look at this mask, and I want them to be able to tell it's you. So you need to put yourself onto that mask, and he just leaves it blank.
Right.
And then
he doesn't have an identity.
Yeah, absolutely. And then he just wakes up, and then the mask is fused to his face.
Yeah, I wish they had done a little bit of like explanation on that besides just like the metaphysical woo-woo that happened.
Even during like the other scenes of the movie, other people walk up. He's like, "You can see my face," and she's like, "Well, what's wrong with your face?"
Right.
And George Romero even mentioned in an interview, he goes, "You don't actually know if there's a mask. At the end of the movie, he's wearing the mask."
Because also a lot of the time he gets these like flashbacks of like his almost like fantasizing of like what he wants to do to people. He wants to throw someone in front of a train, or he wants to like kill his wife, and then he just snaps out of it.
Yeah,
and so you know from the beginning that his psyche is a little broken.
Yeah, because he wakes up, his face has got the white mask on it, and he sees the housekeeper stealing stuff from his house, putting it into her bag, and he just right across the face, and kills her on the spot.
And then he doesn't snap out of it.
Yeah, and then he doesn't come back. He's like, wait a minute, this is real.
Yeah.
It's real. It's all real.
And then his wife comes back with that annoying little poodle.
Okay, my one thing, that saw, the table saw,
right,
that the poodle was trained to like turn on.
Learn how to do that.
They did nothing with it. I was like, I'm sure there was a deleted scene. Okay. There had to have been.
Well, he hated the dog. He even told his friend of his, is like, get any dog you want to keep you company as long as it's not a poodle. Because he was just so fed up with it.
And he shoots the photo of the dog, but not the dog.
Right. And when he's trying to like cover all of his tracks.
Yeah. I wonder if that was the deleted scene. Like they had him actually doing that. And they're like, no, we can't have that.
We can't kill it.
The writing was really good. I actually thought that the dialogue in there was pretty solid, except for some of it in Act 3. But mostly, and the story was cool. Like it was just a cool, like, classic revenge story. Kind of this, like, nice guy finishes last, so stop being a nice guy kind of trope.
No more Mr. Nice Guy.
Ah! God! Because when he realizes that he's crossed that threshold, that now he is going to go after his revenge.
Right.
And then he starts picking people off one by one of who he needs to come off of.
But he still has a sense of ethics. Because he's like, he is about to shoot the one guy that was, maybe ratting on him. And then he overhears him saying like, oh, he could be my best friend. I didn't tell the cops anything. And he's like, all right, no, you're good.
You sold him out to the cops, right?
No, I told him I had no idea who he was. Not far from the truth, I barely know him. In the end, he might turn out to be the best friend I ever had.
Yeah, and then he calls and confesses, like, and this guy, nothing to do with it. Good guy.
Yeah, good guy.
He had nothing to do with any of this. He's a good guy.
I think people say it was the best film in his second half of his career because the last big production he came off of before that was actually Day of the Dead.
Yep. So he did like a little 15-year siesta and then comes out with Bruiser.
Well, people kind of lost faith in him because he started doing the pictures he wanted to. I mean, he did Night of the Living Dead, which was his bread and butter, but then he wanted to do Night Riders, which is about motorcycle jousting. And and then I don't know, they kind of lost faith in him. They didn't want to give him money. He did a few other things for like Iron City.
Oh yeah.
And then he finally got the okay to do this, and like I said, this has been one of my favorites that I've seen from him. I mean, outside of the Dead series.
Like it was a solid film, just in general. Acting was pretty good. God, Peter Stormare, he just kills it. He steals the show with everything he's in.
And just he's got this energy and just.
And remember, Bruisers, we make heat.
We make heat. Yes, we
Make heat. We make heat. We make heat. We make heat. We make heat.
During an interview, they were talking about George Romero was like, yeah, when he came in there, he goes, a lot of that stuff he was doing was completely improv, and he came in like a ball of fire, and he was grabbing tables and ripping stuff off the walls. He goes, we had to go tell him to calm down and glue stuff down so he'd quit destroying the set.
He was he nailed that character, just this, macho kind of asshole boss.
Oh yeah, the
womanizer and
total narcissist. I mean, just everything's about him and to hell with everybody else. And it's great because there's that one scene where he talks about, that actually the guy you're talking about in the hot tub. That guy walks up and they bring in the new face, the new cover model for their magazine, because Henry actually works for a magazine called Bruiser.
That's where the title comes from.
Yep, and they're looking for a new cover model. And the girl, he's like, I'm really kind of into her. And he's like, well, I'm not going to do anything.
Like this doll, Ted. Tom, you're afraid I'm going to pull her pants down, aren't you?
No. I mean, yes, I like her a lot, but no, I never thought that you would.
Sure you did, come on. No, I'm not going to do it. Not tonight. Tomorrow night, she's fair game. A month from now, when she's been all over the newsstand, she'll be everybody's game. Tonight's her only chance to prove to her that you're the man.
I mean, that's like the biggest douchebag, arrogant guy you can ever find.
Yeah. So my favorite thing about this movie was the cinematography, by far. Like, it went hard.
It did.
Like, it was so good. The set design was really good. Like, the construction zone in his house. And it was a good, story piece. He's like, his house isn't even in order, and so how could his life be in order? And then his wife doesn't respect him, and then his boss doesn't respect him, and his lone friend is stealing from him. And it's just this compounding, Book of Job kind of thing that pushes him over the edge, and he goes evil.
And that's actually, you brought up his friend that was stealing from him, and that's one of my favorite scenes in that movie is when he's going to go get revenge on his friend, his financial advisor.
Oh, the tennis courts.
What could I possibly found out? Oh, you mean the money? The money that you stole from me. How long have we known each other, Jimbo?
A long time, Henry. A long, long time.
And do you think it's right to steal from people that you've known for a long, long time?
And just this ominous, heavy feel of what's about to come to this guy.
Yeah. I thought it was going to be more grotesque, more gory, better kills, since it was Romero, but they tamed it down, I'm guessing, for whatever release they had to do. I imagine Romero probably was like, no, more blood, give me that saw, whatever. But then they probably had to edit that out.
Well, I mean, let's be real. I mean, like, Greg Nicotero and Tom Savini weren't on set like they usually were with George Romero.
Okay.
I mean, so those guys are kind of king of splatter. So.
Sure. Okay, that makes sense. But yeah, all in all, a good film. The cinematography, like I said, was amazing. The lighting went really hard. Yeah, really good, just visual storytelling through that.
I enjoyed the pacing of it because you never felt like you were like, okay, I mean, how much longer I got on this? It's just
it goes quick.
Constant movement. It's just a good flow. Mm-hmm. It feels organic. Nothing feels forced or it doesn't feel like it's lacking anything.
And they used a lot of not tricks, but just story beats to enhance his insanity as he progresses. They have him painting his face. They change the lighting. They make the camera moving more frenetic. They have his voice, his acting just becomes more crazy, until the end when he finally realizes I'm either going to kill myself or I'm going to get away. And then he has this resolve.
Right.
It's good.
It was, and there's like little bits in there when he starts. Oh God, I think it had to have been after he killed his wife. But he does this. He looks into a mirror, and a piece of his face is back.
Yeah.
And then he kind of startles, and he looks back over and realizes it's still the white mask. So it almost like lets him know that he's on the path he needs to be on.
Right. And then in the end, that we get that completion of like, oh, he doesn't have it on anymore. Like he can go back to normal until he needs it again.
Yeah. But when he becomes a mail boy at some other
Right,
business, and the guy's like, "Hey, asshole, I'm not done talking to you yet."
Yeah.
He's like,
so spoiler alert, he gets away. He does all this killing, gets his revenge, and then the stuck-on mask like actually disappears, and he's like back to normal. And then he gets away, and then end scene, he's in this mailroom, getting yelled at, and then the mask comes back, and he's like, "All right, I'm back to going to kill him for as long as I need to."
And another scene that I loved in this movie was when he gets the revenge on his boss. What better way than get revenge on your boss at a Halloween party?
Oh my God.
Suspend him in the air, blast him with a damn laser that's twice as hot as the sun while the Misfits are playing.
The Misfits was so good. I was not expecting that to happen.
Well, that was actually a trade for talent because they had the Misfits were getting ready to do their music video Scream, and they needed a director. And George's like, "I'd be happy to direct it." He goes,
No way.
"But I need somebody. I need a band for this film that I'm making." So the Misfits are like, "Yeah." He goes, "You do the video." He goes, "We'll do your movie." And they spent 5 days. They brought their entire stage set up.
No way.
They built everything, and the Misfits were on stage for 5 days while they shot that scene.
That's incredible. I saw them like when they get into the party scene, and I'm like, nuh-uh.
And there's that guy on stage, and he's getting all into it, and he's jumping around, and the guitarist is like, "Screw this," and takes
He
just
bashes him.
whacks the guy in the back of the head with a guitar, trying to get him off the stage, and just, I don't know, it was a great movie. I like the concept. I mean, it was. I mean, it's just, when you feel like you don't have a place and just, you're invisible to everyone, what would you do?
Yeah. They had fun with it for sure. Like, there were some funny beats. And then that freaking sun laser beam. Like, where did that come from? What an inventive way to just, like, make this happen.
Well, what a good way to tell him, because he shoots him, like, right in the dick first.
Yeah, he shoots him in the dick, and then he, like, blows his head off.
And then he's like, "Oh, put me down. This
and
is
then they
serious."
don't even know he's dead. They're like, later on, they're like, "Hey, this guy's dead."
Yeah, it's outstanding because the party he's throwing is pretty much just kind of an ego gift to himself, because everybody's kissing his ass.
And it's a very just like hedonistic, like everyone's wearing masks and everyone's running around without their clothes on, and it's like, this is just a freaking crazy ass party. And like, of course, he may just be passed out, suspended up in the air. Who would question that?
Right now, he's dressed like the devil, hanging up there, saying, "I can fly, I can fly," until he realizes no, he's done for.
Oh. Yeah, this was a trip. I had a good time with it.
Yeah, it was a fun movie, and like I said, it's one of those hidden gems that, just it was forgotten about.
Which sucks. I saw that it had a budget of what, like, was it 500,000 or $5 million?
Yeah,
and then it netted 16 or 15 grand at the box office.
George has always been a guy. He's micro budgets. I mean, he's just, whatever you give him, he'll make a movie out of. I mean, the guy cut his teeth on doing Heinz ketchup and Iron City beer commercials.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's like Night of the Living Dead. They had a company called Latent Image, and that's where him and like Russ and all those guys that were for Night of the Living Dead, that's where their home base was. George was a very interesting guy because he really goes with the times.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever's the popular thing, it's just, Let's wrap this up. I want to get a ranking. So the ranking of 1 to 5, not using stars, we're using headstones.
Mm-hmm.
Where would you give Bruiser?
Looking at it from like this, it's kind of a psychological thriller, I'd call it.
It was.
Right?
It was. And I've always loved psychological movies because, I mean, if you can get the audience if you can bring their mind into it, you're drawn in. I mean, you just don't let go.
I'd give it a 4, man. 4 headstones.
4 headstones?
Yeah. I enjoyed it. I had a really good time with it.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to probably have to give it a 4.5. I mean, because there ain't nothing perfect. But, God, I love that movie. I genuinely do. It's one of those I found, and anybody I can talk to about it. Hey, you seen Bruiser yet? Nope, never even heard of it. Well, cool, because nobody has.
It's definitely one to look out for. I think that it's something that if you got to, and it's quick too. It's like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
I mean, so if you got an hour and a half to kill, just throw on Bruiser, and it's freaking fun.
And yeah, like I said, and like we were talking about, the pacing is just so quick. I mean, you don't feel like you're sitting for an hour and a half.
No.
Well, all right, sir. Well, thanks for your time tonight. Thanks for coming on here.
Thanks for the recommendation. I loved watching it.
Okay, there'll be more
Keep 'em
coming.
coming.
Don't worry about it. All right. Well, that's it for this episode of Real Nightmares.